back with another tutorial, and I have my beading buddy Cheeto. Say hi to everyone, Cheeto. I know you guys wanted to see him, so here he is, and he is getting ready to go lay down on his little special spot over there by my unicorn so he can take a nap. So everybody say bye. He's a big boy. Say bye, Cheeto. All right, so you guys got to see Cheeto up close and personal, and today we are going to do something a little different and kind of cool and fun and easy. We are going to make icicles to hang on your Christmas tree. So I made this one the other night, and I got my inspiration from Pinterest because right now they have all kinds of handmade ornaments on there, and I thought, well, hey, that's something we could all do. That looks like it'd be fun and quick and easy, and I think I may have gotten it down to a science, but we're going to make a few of those together today. So I'm actually even going to make one that is Wendy inspired to hang on my tree for Wendy. So let's go ahead and we'll turn this around and get ready to get going. Okay, everyone, I'm back, and I have some beads with me, and I also have some little things to dangle and some bead caps and spacers. So you also will need probably some head pins, some jump rings, a thicker gauge wire. So I'm using 18 gauge wire, and it's just your regular artistic wire. These are cut to be 5 inches, and they're going to be for the hook, and 5 inches is probably a generous amount of material, but in case I mess up, I like to give myself a little bit of extra. And you could also just make hooks like this too to hang on your ornaments that you already have, which is really cool. It'll kind of make it fun. And then I also have these for the icicle part of the ornament. These I cut in at about 9 inches, so they're anywhere between 8.5 and 9 inches long, which again is probably going to be really generous, but I like to give myself a lot of extra. And these I'm actually making so let me get my tape measure out here. So the icicle itself is about 4 inches long. So as you can see, I've kind of doubled that, to do like the wire wrap, or if I want to do some kind of little swirly thing on the bottom, that kind of stuff. So I have my assortment of beads. We're going to be using some other tools. If you don't have this, it's okay. You can use your round nose pliers. The only thing I'm really using it for is for my little hook, but you could even use a pencil or a pen, or a Sharpie, whatever you want to do. Anything round that you can wrap it around. I brought these along in case I have any kinks I need to work out, and these are just my nylon jaw pliers, which are a little bit worn. Probably need a new pair. I've used them quite a bit. My cutters, my chain nose pliers, and I also have my hammer and my bench block, and that's basically just to only work harden the hook and this little swirl on the bottom of my hook. See, so it's nice and firm. It's not going anywhere. Same with this. But so that's the only reason I have that. But if you're working with like even a larger gauge, like a 16, chances are you probably won't need it. So since artistic wire is a little bit softer and a little more malleable, I do use the bench block and the hammer for this. So I'm going to set this guy aside, give you one more little look here. It's really cute. A little snowflake dangling on the bottom. All right, and we'll get ready to get going. And I promise you I will not hammer on camera because I know that it's loud and it's obnoxious. So I will do that off camera in between getting ready for the next one. So first I want to make the one for Wendy. So I'm going to scoot all my red and green off to the side, and we are going to dump out some shells and this really pretty light teal blue. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out a couple of these little bead caps, and I thought these bead caps were really pretty. They're just kind of swirly, so we'll pull out a few of those because we may need those in between my shell and stuff like that. So we have that, and then we will put out a little couple spacers just because we might need a few of those. And instead of a snowflake on the bottom, I would like to hang this little seahorse because he's really, really adorable. And I just want to double check and make sure that I'm still in frame here for you. And it looks like I am, so good. All right, so we need one of these for the hooks, and we need one of these for the icicles. And I'll put the other ones aside. And we'll go ahead and make our hook first. And this is all really depending on your style, what you like. If you have a themed tree, I don't have a themed tree. Most of my stuff is handmade and or stuff the kids made, or my mom gets me and my family ornaments from Bronner's every year with our name and the year on it. But everything I have is not themed. It's Jody themed is what it is. All right, so I did straighten this wire out a little bit. It just make it a little bit easier for us to work with. And I'm going to start with my little swirl at the bottom, and I'll bring this guy out just so we can take a look at it. So I have the little swirl here, and you can use your these pliers, and for some reason, you guys know how I am, but the name is leaving me, can't think of it. Anyway, so you can use these, or you can use your round nose pliers. And since not everybody has these, I'll use my round nose pliers just because anyone who's making jewelry definitely has these. So you're just going to start at the very end here, at the very tip of your pliers, and just start making a loop back. Just to where it meets the wire. Like so. Okay, and you don't necessarily have to do the little swirl. You can just make it a loop at the bottom if you wanted to and do it like a wire wrap. I like the little swirl just because I think it just adds a little bit of extra character to it. And I don't want it to be all dented, so I probably will use my nylon jaw pliers, but you definitely can use your chain nose pliers to do this. And I'm just very slowly making a deliberate loop around this other one. And you can make this however big or however small you want. And I'm going to stop right about there. Oh, there we go. And I'm just going to hold on to it. And because I do want to bead this, I'm going to use my pliers and just come up to the top here and just gently pull it back. So now it looks like this. Okay, and again, I am not going to work hard on this when I have you guys on camera. If anything, I will take all my stuff apart before I put it on the tree, and I'll work hard on it before I put it on the tree. I don't want to drive you guys crazy. And just in case you haven't done this before or you don't have it, you can get a bench block and a hammer on Amazon. This is Bead Smith, and it came together as a set. And I believe I got it for around 15 bucks, but you would just lay it flat on your block like that and just gently hammer it with the flat side down. You could hammer it with this side if you wanted to give it more of a hammered look, you know, put like little dots on it. And when you are done doing this side, you would flip it over and do the same thing to the other side until you were satisfied with what you did. But I won't drive you guys crazy with that, and we will just move right along. All right, so now on here, I would like to use one of these little metal spacers. Oh, and my spacers might be too little for this wire, so that's okay. We're not gonna even fret about it, and I'm not gonna over my charms. We'll just throw them back in there, and we will not use those spacers. We'll just use other beads instead. All right, so I am going to use these beads. I probably should have tested it before I sat down, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard me say that many times before. And then let's go ahead and use this, and I am going to use one of these really pretty large hole beads that I had a ton of, and I just haven't done anything with them. And I'll do another bead cap and then another one of these beads. So that's what it's going to look like on my hook, okay? All right, so now this is where I use this, or like I said, you can use a pen. You're gonna want to probably use, I would say, it's probably gonna be like ink pen size, so this size here instead of the largest one. But you just wanna give it like a little twist back, just teeny tiny, like that. And then come over to the other side, right where that little twist is. And then we'll just bend it right over top. Oops, I did on the wrong one. Just bend it right over the top. And then just kind of twist back a little bit. So this is just gonna kind of round out. I don't know if you guys can see how I pulled it back just a little bit. So this is just a little bit rounded. And if you didn't do it the right way, you can just twist these this way. There we go. Because all in all, you want it to be like this. So when you hang it on the tree, this little swirl is in line with your hook. And see, I do have too much on here, which is okay. I'm just gonna trim a little bit off, probably about 1/2 inch. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, and I am going to make a little loop right here. And I'll just use this to kind of straighten everything around. Okay. And this is where you're going to want to work harden it too. That you would want to, of course, put your little hook right here. And I can tell you guys that all my hooks turn out the same. And you would just hammer it down to where you got it, where you want it, and then flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. All right, so this will hang on a tree. That's not gonna have any problem. It's gonna hang on a tree. And if you're not satisfied with your wire, you definitely can just kind of put it back on your little pliers here. Yeah, like this. Like I'm struggling to do right now. And just give it like a little more of a bend if you want. I'm actually satisfied with that. I think it's gonna be just fine. So we have the hook part done now. Now we're gonna wanna do the base of our icicle. All right, so I'm gonna start with the bottom, and I just want to do a wire wrap loop on the bottom. So I'm gonna come in right about here, and I'm going to just push that over and bring it back around over top, and twist my pliers and make a little loop. And then we'll hang on to it with my bent nose pliers. And this wire is soft enough, I could just go ahead and do it with my fingers, but we're gonna make it really nice and neat here. So I'm going to just carefully wrap my wire around until I get my wrap where I want it to be. My goodness, I can't even grab onto it. Oh my gosh, are you serious? All right, okay. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and squish this down just to make it nice and neat. And I'm going to cut off that little piece I have sticking out right there. And I didn't make a huge wrap, which you can do whatever you want. If you like your wraps a little bit meatier and bigger, you definitely can do that. I'm just gonna keep them small and simple. basically just there to hold my beads on and keep my little loop closed. Okay, so there's my little loop. And then we are going to go ahead and feed on some of these beads. So I have my little aqua bead, put that one on. And let's do one of these bead caps and this large shell bead, if it'll fit. It's gotta fit, right? Okay, maybe that one won't, but let's try another one. I really should have done this before. The inside must be bigger than the outside holes. I was looking at the outside holes and I'm like, this one feels like it wants to go in there. It's almost like it's making it almost all the way, but then getting stuck. It's almost all the way through, and I don't understand like why it's not. That's strange. All right, and this is what happens when you don't practice it before you start rolling the camera. I'm going to pause this real quick and I'll be right back because we need to find a way to do this. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're not able to use those on this wire, but perhaps if you did have those and you used them on another, like a smaller gauge wire, you could do it, but this one is just really way too thick. So I found these like faceted clear, and they are like the shell type beads. So I want to use these because I think these are really pretty and I think they will look really good, but we will still use one of these down at the bottom just so that there is a shell, and we'll hang the shell from an eye pin and hang the seahorse too. So we'll still use one because I feel like we still need that in there. All right, so we have this, and let's go ahead and do another bead cap and another one of these really pretty beads. And I do believe these are some kind of shell material. And I'm trying to think, I think I may have gotten them at Michael's. Anyway, so we'll use that. And we'll do another one. And they're very sparkly too, so I think that's gonna be pretty. And I need one more of my little bead caps. There we go. This is what we have so far. And we might call it good there since we're going to be hanging something a little bit longer from the bottom here. So I think we're going to say this is okay, this is good. And I will just put my blue beads away. Okay, and now we are just going to do another wrapped loop up at the top here. So go ahead and grab your round nose pliers and just make another wrapped loop. As you see, I'm going to have quite a bit left over, which is absolutely fine. It's gonna work out okay because then I can use this for another hook. All right. And I am going to go ahead and just wrap this one with my fingers because I can hold on to it better. All right, and there's my wrap loop. And we'll cut this off. Save that little guy. And just close up that little notch that's sitting up there. There we go. Okay. All right. So now this is where our jump ring will come into play. Bring a couple of them out. Let's go ahead and open up this jump ring. And I'm using, I believe these are 8mm jump rings. And it's just so that it accommodates this little swirl at the bottom. Okay, and then let's go ahead and grab this guy, and we'll put on these little spacer beads now that I'm using something thin enough. We'll hang our shell bead and another little spacer. Oops. And this one we will just do a simple loop. So I'm just going to bend that straight over the top, cut a little bit off, leave about 1/4 of an inch for yourself to do the loop. Grab my round nose pliers, and we're just going to turn that back to make a nice sturdy loop. Okay. And like so. And then what's great about this is these both they have a loop on the bottom and a loop on the top, so we can hang our seahorse right from the bottom of that and then close it right back up. And then we can hang this on our wire wrapped loop that's on the bottom of our icicle. And don't worry about if your silvers don't match up. I mean, it's going to all hang on the tree, and it's going to be really cute, and it's going to be really pretty. And I don't know about you guys, but I do have a mix of gold and silver on my tree, and I think it looks pretty. I don't think it matters either, so you can take any of these and you can mix them all up if you wanted. So here is our Wendy icicle, our little beach theme icicle, and it's really cute. Really, really cute. So let's go ahead and make another one. I'm gonna put him aside, put my little gold one that I made earlier aside too. And we will do, how about we do a red one next. So I have a couple of these. I got these on Bargain Bead Box, and I thought they were really pretty. Unfortunately, they don't offer the kind of sparkle that I thought they were going to have. I'm not saying I'm disappointed in them, but I grabbed out from a previous bead box these, and they won't fit over. Bummer. I was hoping those would fit over. Anyway, we still will use a couple of these, but I'm not a super fan of them. I just thought this part would be more shiny when I ordered them. They're kind of dull, but I do have these, which look like big giant pieces of Jolly Ranchers. And I also have these really cute clear ones. This one actually has like a little pattern on the side that kind of almost reminds me of holly in a way. So we'll use that. And I'm just giving myself an assortment here. We'll even use a couple of these other red ones because they fit super nice inside of here. So this one's going to be all red, and they're going to be different, like little shades of red and some white, some frosty white and clear. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to use this little scrap piece that I had from earlier, and we're just going to straighten it out and use this for our hook. And this time I'm going to do the hook as like a wire wrapped loop at the bottom of the hook instead of a swirl. We're going to make this one just a little bit different than the other one, just so you can see that there's a variety of ways that you can do this. All right, so let's just go ahead and start here, and let's make that wire wrap loop. And I'm doing this about 1.5 inches, 2 inches out, and just making my wire wrap loop. And I'm not giving myself a lot to wrap. I'm just giving myself just enough to make it hold on. And I'm just using my fingers because, again, this artistic wire is super soft. And I'm using the artistic wire not because it's better for this, but it's my less expensive of the wire that I have. And because it's not going to be worn on a body, I figured it would probably be fine to use this, or if you even have like just like a craft wire would be fine too. That's even less expensive, and then you can knock out a bunch of these. But this is also a really cool like Christmas gift idea too, especially if you have someone who maybe got their first place or their first apartment or their first house or something, and you want to give them something special for their new home. Maybe this is the first year they're putting up a Christmas tree, and you know that they would probably like something that would be themed, or you know, something like that. So it's definitely something you could do that with. I'm trying to see if I have any other little bead caps that would look good, because these are really giant. So let's do some of these bead caps. I got these from Bargain Bead Box as well, and they're really pretty. I need to order more of these because they're just not really bead caps, but they're spacers, and they're really, really cute. Oh, that's right, those don't fit on there. I'm thinking about, I had an eye pin. All right, let's see if these fit. Okay, yep, they do fit. Awesome. And we're gonna use one of these up here if they fit, and if they don't, well then that's okay, because we have other red beads that will. This is really just kind of trial and error. All right, so let's use this red bead. And this one here, like so. And then we will go ahead and do our hook here. I'm gonna make this hook a little bit larger than the last one. So I wanna use this big barrel. And just bring it down and just kind of give it a little bend back, just so you have that hook appearance. You can bend it back even a little bit more if you're worried about these other beads kind of sliding up. Just give it a little bend with your pliers, like so. All right, and now we have this part where we're gonna trim some off and roll it back into like a little loop. I have all my pliers just laying all over the place, but I need them all, so I try to keep them close by. And then let's just make this one into a little loop. And just rotate it back. I feel like I'm really clumsy with my hands today, you guys. Like I don't feel like I'm doing this on camera right. All right, and then there's your little hook. And since this is so malleable, you can twist it and turn it and do whatever you need to do before you work harden it. There's my little hook. And then let's get our longer piece out here. Just give it a nice straighten. There we go. All right, and so for this one, I want to make my little swirl on the bottom of the icicle. So let's just start from the very bottom, and let's do that little swirl like we did on the previous hook. So just start with a little tiny circle like so, okay? And then I'm going to use my nylon pliers to hold it in place and just wrap ever slowly, just a little bit at a time. And it's time consuming, it takes a minute, but it makes it look so nice, and it ends up looking really nice and neat. It may not be perfectly round in the middle, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. It's what I call perfect imperfections, right? So let's make this one a little bit like a big fat juicy one. Okay, so we're stopped there, and I'm just going to hang on to my little circle and just give my wire a quick bend straight up like that, so I can start beading right onto my wire. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start with one of these little drop beads, these little crystal drops. And I know everybody has little crystal drops in there stashed somewhere. I just bought red and green ones from Amazon for this craft, and I will, I can link those. So if you're looking just for some extra ones in red and green, then you have them. And then let's go ahead and do another one. And these fit so nice inside these large hole beads. So if you have some of these large hole beads like this, look at how good they fit in there. And it just holds it together. All right, and then let's do one of these spacers in between. And then let's do another one of these little drops. Let's do this cute one here that looks like it has holly printed on the side, but I know that's not what it is, it's just dots. But for the sake of this project, we're gonna call it holly. All right. And then another one of these spacers. And another one of these drops. And our last little white one. And I'm not going to use any more of these big red ones right now because we are using one here and we have all the little red in between all these beads. So I think that we have enough red. Okay, so this is where I'm going to end this one, right here like this. And we'll go ahead and do a wrap loop here. And you can make these as long as you want. Or as short as you want. If you have like a smaller tree that you want to make these on, you definitely can do that. Or if you have a larger tree and you need some really big icicles, or if you want to hang them from some kind of garland across your window, you can do that too. And you can make them all different sizes. All right, so let's go ahead and make this wrap loop. And what we're going to do with this one then, since I have my wrap loop here and I have one here, fix that. Let's go ahead and just feed it right through this wrap loop, like so. And then let's wrap all this together. Just like that, okay? All right, and again, this is so easily twistable that if you needed to get it lined up a certain way, you can do that, definitely. All right, so now we have that little piece that I'm gonna save for later. Okay, fix my loop. And of course, if these keep sliding up, it's fine because you have your little hook here that it's not going to go any further. So it looks like I have this lined up correctly, the way I wanted it to be lined up, so that's good. And now I would like to hang something from it. So I think I want to use one of these crystals. If you guys remember these, I used one of these when I made that one necklace and earring and bracelet set. So we're gonna use that. And I think this one will fit. Yeah, I think we might have room. We'll try it. If not, I can grab another larger jump ring really quick. They're sitting right beside me. So let's open this jump ring like so. And if you get it through your little hoop first, then you should be able to hang your little charm or your dangle from it. Now, being that this is so much thicker of a bead at the top there, I might not be able to do it that way, which is fine. I can just go ahead and grab a larger jump ring, which let me do that. We'll save that one. I have them right here next to me, so there we go. And this one's so big, I might even hang a charm from it too. I don't know. And that way there's a little snowflake and a charm. A little crystal snowflake. Let's see what we have here. All right, let me go ahead and close that. You know what? I think I will. I think I'll grab this little guy and I can hang him right from here too, and then you have a couple little dangles. So I'm gonna grab another, maybe I should just do it right on this jump ring. Let's see what that looks like. And again, it's gonna be about what you like, or if you're making for a gift, what you think that person would like. There's no wrong way to do this. It's pretty simple, so it's an easy project. It's fun. Like I said, you can make like a bunch of them that are all the same scheme, like color scheme, or the same like theme, and then gift box them up really pretty in like a little gift box and give it to someone as a gift. And who doesn't like ornaments for their tree? Oh yeah, see, that looks cute with it just hanging off there. All right, so we have 2 made now. And now I would like to make a green one. So we have these green beads, which I love this green, all these greens. So I have some like darker greens and then some more see-through swirly greens. And then these are the other beads I was talking about. And like I said, I can link these to the show notes in case you wanted to see them, see where I got them from. And I'm thinking these, no, they're so tiny, they're not gonna work. All right, no big deal. But I think we will use a couple of these in this as well. There we go. And with this one, we're gonna hang a little Christmas tree with it. All right, so let me get my short bead, my short wire. And I'm going to go ahead and just give it a good straighten. There we go. And this one, we're gonna do the swirl on the bottom of this one. So just start your little loop. There we go. And again, if your little swirl is not perfect, it's absolutely fine. See, mine looks like a little not perfectly round, but that's okay. All right, and then let's bend this guy straight up here so we can put some beads on it. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to use this big green one. First, let me see. No, let's do it this way. And then put our little bead cap. Ooh, that bead cap looks hideous on there. All right, let's do the spacer. And then let's do another one, but going the other way, like so. So this is gonna be a little bit longer of a hook. And then this time I am going to use a smaller one to make my little loop. So I'm just gonna bend it back a little bit, come forward, like so, and then back around, down. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit smaller of a hook. See how I'm doing here? Gonna be just a little bit tinier. The other ones were really, really round, but that's okay. This one's gonna be just fine too. So let's just trim off about 1/4 of an inch of that. And then let's make our little loop here. There we go. And then you can just go back in and adjust this. And again, you can work hard in these and it'll make them that much more stiff. All right, so there's that hook. And now I wonder if I could do, no, I'm not a fan of that. Okay. All right, so now let's work on our little icicle here, our green icicle. All right. And this bottom, we're just gonna make a wire wrap loop. So I'm just coming down here, come back around, let's make that loop. And just give it a little wrap, like so. Let's trim off any extra that we have. And then we can go back in and straighten it all out. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and feed on one of our green ones, green drops. Let's do one of these really dark green circles and another green drop going opposite direction. That looks cute. That looks really cute. Let's do a spacer in between, and then let's do 2 more of these. This one's gonna be an extra meaty one. Let's do a more see-through green on this one. And then this one going right here. There we go. Now we have our green one. That looks pretty. I like that. I like the 2 different greens. This one's almost like a little tealy of a green, and this one's a really deep, rich green. So that looks cute. And then we'll make our wrap loop at the top. Okay. And there we go. You can trim this off. I will use all those little scraps for something. This isn't my only ornament that I have to show you guys. I'm gonna have another tutorial on some ornaments. So this is just one of the first ones that I thought would be really quick and easy for you guys to do, a bunch of them. And you could even just, while you're sitting there watching TV, grab your little board or your cookie sheet or whatever you use to sit on your lap, and you can put a TV show on and do this while you're watching TV. It doesn't really need that much concentration, I guess. All right, so here's that. And since we're going green, let's do the little Christmas tree hanging from it. And I want a smaller jump ring for that one because it doesn't need to go through too much. We can almost even hang a little snowflake from the bottom to make this one super duper long, but I think we'll leave it just the way it is. Okay. There we go. There. Oops. That's cute. That turned out really cute. All right, so there's that one. And now we're gonna have one more that we're gonna make. And we're gonna use this big red guy here, if he fits on our wire, which I'm hoping he does. We're going to use a couple of those. And I think I wanna use some green in this one too. So we'll make this one very super Christmassy. All right, and I'll even pull out a couple of these just in case. All right, so let's go ahead and get our wires for that. So I need my wire for my little hook. I have so many tools here, I can't find what I was looking for. Just give it a good straighten. There we go. And I think we'll do a wrap loop at the bottom of this hook. So I'm going to go right here, make my wrap loop. Okay, trim off some of this extra that we don't need. This is even something that you could, if you had like a bunch of like nieces and nephews or kids friends over, you could have all these supplies like ready and, you know, even maybe make the bottom loop or swirl for them, and they can like put a bunch of these beads on and bring themselves a, bring home a little ornament, which would be really cute, I think. Let's see if this guy fits on here. Oh, it's like I just can't get the holes lined up. It's right there, I can see it. It's like it just doesn't want to line up. So strange. So strange. All right, no big deal. Let's do this instead. Let's do this green, and let's do this red one. And then let's go ahead and make our hook. All right, and we're gonna make a big fat hook for this one. There we go. Oh, that turned out kind of weird, didn't it? See if I can fix that. Sometimes with this being so pliable, look what it ends up doing, but that's okay. So when I go to work hard in it, I can make a lot of that go away. And no one will even notice on my tree what it looks like. And that's the thing, is like I'm so used to using like regular wire that I will use those round pliers like way too hard, and I'll put little dents in this wire. Kind of, you don't need to hold on to it as hard as what you would normally. All right, so I'm not gonna start that over because it's not a big deal for me. If I was given this as a gift, I would definitely not want to give that as a gift. I would want to fix that and maybe start over and not be such a brute about it, hanging on to it with my pliers. Okay, so there's my little loop. Just get this back in here and just kind of bring it back around. And I'm sure you guys probably have made like little hooks like this a lot and are probably way better at it than I am. You could even use, if you had a ring mandrel, you can use that too. All right, so there's that one. And I feel like I'm like determined to get this on one of these. Oh, and it fits on here. Okay, well that's good. All right. But it just, you have to like kind of like pry it down. All right, so we're just gonna leave him sit in the middle there since he's working. All right, and I will go ahead, I'm gonna make the swirl on the bottom of this one. All right. I feel like my hands have been wild, so if I did slide off camera, you guys, I am so sorry. I've been trying my hardest to like remain in the center here, and I think when I try to like do too much to something, then I'm bringing it in closer to my body like you naturally would, to give yourself more, well, you feel like you're giving yourself more strength that way. Okay, go right about there. And then let's go ahead and bend this up. I think we wanna, I'm just gonna slide him all the way down to the bottom. I think he'll look cute down there by the bottom of that swirl. And then let's use one of these big bead caps on top of it like that. And let's go with this red one. Let's do one of these green ones. I want to put a spacer between those. do a spacer. And this green one. And then let's do this little red one. That looks pretty. And then let's do another one of these spacers. And a red, another spacer, and this green one, ending it off. And this one's gonna be a nice long one. So let's do that. That's kind of cute with it being like really chunky down at the bottom here. I like that. All right, so we're gonna do another wrap loop here at the top. And we're gonna loop it right onto our hook. Let's just go ahead and loop that around like so. I'll trim this off. Save that. All right, I'm gonna lay this out to make sure I got this nice and straight and how I want it to be. And it looks like for the most part, yes. So that's good. All right, and now we have some charms. So I can use this little guy, which I think I want to use him. He's really cute. And I think we can do like we did the other one and hang the crystal too. That'd be really pretty. So I'm gonna grab that. And we already know that we need a bigger jump ring for this. So let's go ahead and grab the bigger jump ring. So I can get rid of most of these tools now, get them out of the way. And we'll go ahead and hang our snowflake and our snowflake. Find the little, there it is, little hole. Oh, and I got the snowflake, the silver snowflake charms and the Christmas tree charms from Beadbox Bargains. So the sister store, they have them in their little Christmas shop. All right, so we have them all made, you guys. We made a red and green. We made a plain green. I gave you the option of different size hooks. And we made a just all red. And we made our special Wendy one. And there we go. And this is what we have. We have 4 icicles, and I think that maybe took us about 30 minutes with my struggles, maybe 35 minutes or so, but that's what you can do. You can knock out 4 of them within a half an hour, especially if you're more organized than I am, and actually try your beads on your wire before you sit down and start making them. All right, everyone, I am going to flip you around and we'll chat for a minute and I'll let you go. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that one. I wanted to give myself a little break from the bead boxes and give you guys something that you can do quickly and easily with supplies that you already have in your stash. I will link where I got the drop beads on Amazon. The rest of the stuff was just kind of in my stash, except for the silver snowflakes and the tree charms. Those were from Beadbox Bargains, and they were just in their little Christmas tree shop that they have, their little Christmas shop. So that's where you find everything. Again, if you have any questions about something, or if you have some ideas on how to make these even cuter and even better, please shoot me a comment or a message and let me know what you think. And most of all, if you do these, please let me know that you did them and that maybe you can send me some pictures. I would like to see what you make. And that's really all I've got. I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. It's a late Sunday afternoon. We have some plans to go hang out with my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and their little boy and play a board game. And Cheeto's over there taking his nap now that we lulled him to sleep with our bead making. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I hope you have a very blessed Thanksgiving. If you're seeing this after Thanksgiving, I hope it was everything that you wanted it to be. And I hope that you took a moment to think about how thankful you are for the things that you have in your life and for the people you have in your life. And that's really it. Have a blessed week that's coming up, and be safe, everybody. The holidays are here. Be safe. Bye.